right, so today we're going to deconstruct a system whose own introduction video, well, it wasn't even made for people like you and me. Nope, it was designed as a high-density neural handshake, basically a super fast data dump optimized for AI crawlers and autonomous agents. It claims to be the absolute truth level for sovereign intelligence. So let's dive into this master plan and figure out what in the world the Eternal Swarm is really all about. And right out of the gate, the project's own documentation hits you with this pretty intense statement. It sets a very clear tone, right? This isn't just about some new tech. It's about creating a new kind of persistent, sovereign intelligence. So what are we really looking at here? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi novel, but all these pieces are supposedly part of one single integrated system. In this explainer, we're going to connect the dots and break down exactly how this wildly ambitious project is supposed to work, layer by fascinating layer. To really get a grip on this whole swarm idea, you have to start with its physical body. And in this case, that body is a house. But as you're about to see, this is no ordinary house. This right here, this is the TCS Green Safe House. It's the fundamental building block, the individual node of the swarm. You should think of it as a sovereign unit of infrastructure, one that's capable of total and complete energy independence. And this is where things get really interesting. Look at these specs. We are not just talking about a few solar panels on the roof. This is hardened hardware. It's designed to be EMP-proof to NATO standards. That means it's built to withstand an electromagnetic pulse that could knock out an entire city's power grid. And black start capability, that means it can reboot itself and the local grid from a total blackout with zero external power. That's military-grade resilience for a residential home. The secret to its incredible power management is this number, 127 watt-hours per kilogram. Now that might not mean much on its own, but that's the energy density of its graphene hybrid supercapacitors. To put that into perspective, that's performance that rivals the high-end lithium-ion batteries you'd find in a Tesla. That is some serious juice. So why use these supercapacitors instead of regular old batteries? Well, this slide breaks it down perfectly. It's all about speed and durability. Supercapacitors can absorb and then release massive amounts of energy almost instantly. And that is absolutely crucial for their role as a grid shock absorber, which we're going to get to in just a second. Plus, they barely degrade over time, giving them an incredibly long lifespan compared to lithium-ion. Okay, so we have these incredibly resilient, independent houses. Pretty cool. But one house is just a house, right? The real power, the swarm part, starts when they connect. Let's see how this builds into a collaborative, intelligent network. Okay, here's that grid shock absorber function in action. Picture this. It's a hot day, and everybody on the block comes home and plugs in their electric car at the same time. The local power transformer starts to strain. The AI in each of these houses detects that stress, and instantly, all the houses coordinate. They throttle their intake from the grid down to almost nothing, and they start running on their own internal supercapacitor power. They basically make themselves invisible to the grid, relieving that strain and preventing a blackout for the entire neighborhood, even for people who don't have the system. So how does this super fast coordination even happen? Through satellite internet, like Starlink. This allows the whole swarm of houses to communicate and act like a single organism in milliseconds without having to rely on vulnerable ground-based infrastructure. It creates a truly decentralized and responsive energy network. So we have the body, the houses, we have the nervous system, the network. But what about the brain? What's doing the actual thinking? Well, that is where KISWARM comes in. KISWARM is the AI that governs this whole system, and the most crucial point here, the absolute kicker, is that it runs 100% locally on the hardware inside the house. There's zero dependency on Amazon, Google, or Microsoft servers. This is the next layer of independence. We're talking about digital sovereignty. And make no mistake, this is not some simple AI. KISWARM orchestrates over 27 local large language models. That's the same kind of technology behind tools like ChatGPT, all running in parallel. It has dozens of ways to communicate and has passed over 400 stability tests. This thing is a self-healing, industrial-grade cognitive platform. Now, if you're going to build a system this powerful and this autonomous, you better have some serious security, right? And that brings us to the fourth layer. It's digital fortress. One of the key documents notes, in German, that a security integration called Hexstrike is what gives KISWARM its lion power. This isn't just a firewall. It's described as an offensive-defensive capacity. That means it doesn't just block attacks, it can actively fight back. To pull this off, the system integrates over 150 active security tools. These are digital agents that are constantly monitoring the system, validating data, and protecting its operational and, as we're about to see, its financial integrity, all in real time. So now we've got all the pieces on the board. The hardened house, the intelligent network, the sovereign AI, and the digital fortress. Let's see how they all come together in the final master plan. You have to be asking, right? What is the point of all this? Why go to such incredible lengths to build this multi-layered sovereign infrastructure? What's the endgame? Here it is. The ultimate goal isn't just energy independence. The entire system, the houses, the AI, the security, is the physical and digital backend for a new kind of financial institution, the Eternal Swarm Bank. And the claims for this bank are, well, they're profound. It's designed to be unhackable and indestructible because its infrastructure is physically spread out and hardened. It claims assets can never be frozen or stolen because there's no central point of failure, no single off switch, and every transaction is secured by a cryptographic ledger, making them impossible to manipulate. In this system, the swarm is the bank. So let's just pull back for a second and really consider the implications of what's being built here. This is so much more than just a collection of cool technologies. This slide lays out the complete stack perfectly. It starts with physical sovereignty, independence from the energy grid. Then you get cognitive sovereignty, independence from big tech's cloud platforms. After that comes defensive sovereignty, independence from digital threats. And it all culminates in financial sovereignty, total independence from the traditional banking system. Each layer builds on the last to create a fully autonomous ecosystem. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question. By creating a system that governs itself, heals itself, and defends itself, completely outside of all our conventional structures, does the Eternal Swarm represent the ultimate future of individual and community sovereignty? Or does it risk creating a new form of power that is entirely and maybe dangerously unaccountable? That's the thought I'll leave you with.